According to this article, the defeat of Russians in Lyman and probably even the entire Donbass region is inevitable. The full encirclement is almost complete and the retreat is barely possible. At the same time, and now it is official, Putin will be announcing the accession of 4 Ukrainian regions this Friday, September 30th. And for better or worse, things will drastically change after that. And finally, Ukraine is to receive $1.1 billion support package from the US, which includes 18 HIMARS systems. And it looks like that they will attempt to end this war once and for all. But more about all of this in just a couple of minutes. What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude. And let's go straight to the point and talk about the map updates from the east. And as you can see, Ukraine has made a significant progress in the last 2 days. First of all, they successfully crossed the river in Kupiansk region, reinforced their positions and started advancing deeper inside the territory. In addition to that, Ukrainians continue their encirclement of Lyman, and now as you can see, they're getting close to the small town Zaporozhye. And as you can see, this road between Lyman and Zaporozhye is pretty much the only road for Russians left to escape. And according to this map, Ukrainian forces are only 8 kilometers away from this road, which is approximately 5 miles. And the reason why Russians cannot escape to the southeast and go to Yempil, it is because Ukrainians are already advancing close to this city. So, as you can see, in addition to attacking from the north and from the south, Ukrainians will be closing in on Lyman from the east as well. And if we zoom in closer to Yempil, we can see that Ukrainians were able to cross the river. Taking all of this into consideration, at this point I think it is relatively safe to say that Ukrainians will be able to liberate Lyman, with their next target being Severodonetsk and Lysychansk. All this is confirmed by the report by the Institute for the Study of War, which says that the defeat of Russians in this area is inevitable. But in addition to that, the report says after retaking Severodonetsk and Lysychansk, Ukraine will continue its liberation of the rest of Luhansk region, which basically means that in the best case scenario, we can expect the liberation of this entire territory as fast as Kharkov region. Alright, and before I talk about the event which might potentially change the future of this war, allow me to quickly show you just 5 footages from Ukraine. And while I'm going there, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel if you like this style of daily updating. Alright, so the first picture comes to us from Dnipro, and as you can see, Russians were shelling this city this night. And as a result of this shelling, a small local marketplace has been destroyed. Going a little bit to the south, to Zaporozhye, we can see that this city has been shelled by Russians this night as well. Then we have pictures like this, which show us the fire which was happening next to Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. And some reports claim that the reason for this fire it is because a dog stepped on a mine. And finally, we have this security camera footage from Mykolaiv, which shows us that the civilian areas of this city were shelled by Russians. And by the way, I recently received brand new intercepted phone calls between Russians and their families, and they have been translated into English. And if you wish to hear what they are talking about, please consider checking my Patreon. The proceeds will be donated to Ukraine, and you can find all the useful links down below. Alright, now let's talk about the second major part of the video, which is Putin officially announcing the accession of Ukrainian territories. And as you can see from this article, Russian politicians received their invitations to Kremlin for this Friday, September 30th. And at 3 p.m. Moscow time, a ceremonial signing of agreements of the accession of new territories to Russia will take place. It is also expected that Putin will address the politicians and most likely the entire nation. And there is a possibility that Putin will declare some kind of victory, because according to him, Russia was able to liberate these 4 regions. For better or worse, things will change. Just like pretty much the rest of the world, Ukraine will never accept the outcome of these scam referendums, which basically means they will continue the combat actions on these territories. But this time Russia will be allegedly defending its own territories, which will give Putin an excuse to declare an actual war and justify the further invasion. And this might include the use of more radical weapons. And this is confirmed by the General Staff of Ukrainian Forces Alexei Gromov, who is also expecting the escalation in this war. Alright, and before we talk about potentially life-changing support package from the US, here is just a quick update about the mobilization in Russia with some ridiculous videos. Alright, so first of all, as you can see right here, some military representatives, they activate the fire alarm to make the men leave their apartments. But the residents turned on their cameras and saw that this was a trap, which basically means that this special mobilization operation has failed. Then we have videos like these, where other military representatives try to climb through the open windows because none of the residents open a door for them. And finally, we have a video like this, where a car is driving through local neighborhoods, urging the men to show up in the military enlistment offices. And surprisingly enough, no one did. And I mean, it's no wonder Russians do not want to get mobilized, because some of them will be sent to Ukraine with little to no training. But on the other hand, those who are a little bit more lucky will be just left in the middle of nowhere and just told to wait. And reportedly, these people are still waiting. But okay, let's get serious. Because in this video we can see a guy who is saying that he enlisted on purpose to destroy the Russian army from the inside. According to him, he is just one of many partisans who call themselves attache. And he urges other men to join their movement to create sabotage and diversion. And one of the very few things they can do is to deliver sensitive information to Ukrainian forces. Alright, and now very briefly about the third major part of the video, the new support package to Ukraine from the US. This one is estimated to be at $1.1 billion, and one of the best things about it is that it will have 18 HIMARS systems. And in addition to that, it will have 150 armored vehicles, anti-drone radars and systems, body armor, weapons, ammunition, and funding for training. This is truly an incredible assistance to Ukraine, because if you remember from the past, in order for Ukraine to continue its counteroffensive and make it fast and successful, they needed as many military vehicles as possible. And as soon as Ukraine receives them, it will be a very good chance to end this war once and for all. Welcome to another episode of Ridiculous Russian Propaganda. And as you can see from this picture, a person is using candles to warm up the water. This is obviously a joke, I mean physics, but not if you are Russian propaganda. Because some people in the comments went ballistic. And they were basically saying, if you're fighting against Russia, this is what you get. And to make things worse, some small local channels were actually showing this picture and saying things like, it will be a good idea to create a candle business right now. I now want to personally say thank you to Call O Period, a fishing project, Team Francis, Geoff Hirini, and Darren Gasson for becoming my most recent channel members. And if you want to support the channel and unlock some benefits, such as me always replying to your comments, please consider becoming my channel member as well. Also, feel free to join our incredible Discord server and follow me on Instagram if you want to see some occasional stories from Canada. Thank you so much for your attention, товарищи, and see you tomorrow.